Good afternoon from Wilmington, North Carolina and Legion Stadium. Today, Sea Devils TV bringing you men's soccer as the 2-3 USC-Sumter Fire Ants take on the 3-2 Cape Fear Sea Devils. Hi, everybody. Chris Shima, glad to be with you once again. Let's meet the starting lineups for both of these teams. We'll start with the Cape Fear Sea Devils. They're in a 4-4-2 today. The keeper is number 0, Lucas Gusmao. He's got a 2.16 goals against average in 4 appearances so far for Cape Fear this season. The defenders at right back is number 8, Alex DeGrassi. At center back, number 5, Ian Dockery. And number 16, Logan Edwards. And at right back is number 17, that's Eric Brewer. The midfielders, number 2, Alex Rodriguez. Number 10, Alfredo Martinez. Number 19, Anthony Aguirre. And number 9, Renzo Tenorio. And the forwards for Cape Fear today is 21, that's Deshaun Brown, and also 13, that's Franco Fernandez. Meanwhile, USC-Sumter, we believe, is in a 3-5-2 here this afternoon. The keeper is number 0, Leo Faria. Also starting in the backfield is number 5, Zelnick, number 20, Bard, and number 21, Griffin. The midfielders, number 22, Ochoa, number 23, Coker, number 3, Wilson, number 12, Harling, and number 19, Branham. And the forwards, number 9, Green, and number 11, that's Bellamy. We did not get a great start to this one. Obviously, we're delayed a little bit because USC-Sumter was running late, so everything's kind of been rushed a little bit here at the beginning, but we'll set the stage for you. This has been a busy week for the Fire Ants. As I mentioned, they come in at 2-3. They played yesterday at home against Spartanburg, lost 2-1 in that game. It's the second game of 3 in a row this weekend on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They host Daytona State tomorrow, and it's 5 games in 7 days for the Fire Ants. Meanwhile, the Sea Devils, they lost 6-1 against Lewisburg on Tuesday. Outshot 17-10 in that game. Brown had the lone goal in the 69th minute for the Sea Devils. So that's how both of these teams come in. The Sea Devils on a bit of a skid. They've lost 2 in a row. And the Fire Ants, their first year. They're a first-year program. And already won a couple of games for Joel Bristol, the head coach. Head coach of Cape Fear is C.W. Ponton, 6-15 in his second season. Former assistant at Andrew, which was an excellent D1 program. So, Cape Fear in the white and the Fire Ants in the black. Cape Fear will possess first as we're just about set to go. Finally, sorry about the delay, folks. Don't forget, folks, you can use the YouTube chat if you want to give us a shout. Let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. Again, use the YouTube chat. You can also give me a shout on Twitter. Use the hashtag CDevilTV. So I'm going to take just a quick break while we kick off here so I can set the USC-Sumter lineup on my notes, and then we'll bring a play-by-play here in just a couple of minutes, folks. Welcome back, everybody. Chris Shima, glad to be with you. So we're in the second minute here. As you see, didn't miss much action. Just had to set the lineups a little bit for USC-Sumter as they were late arriving. But Cape Fear, so far on the season, averaging a couple of goals per game as they have possession right now. Alfredo Martinez. Play goes through him, according to CW, as he tries that 1-2. A little bit off the mark there, coming up to make the play on it. Playing it forward was Griffin. Header by Dockery. That's Ian Dockery from my old hometown of Asheville, North Carolina. Good soccer area up there in the Blue Ridge Mountains. That throw went nowhere, so taken back by Eric Brewer. This is a quick turnaround for CW Punton in his second season here at Cape Fear. First year was a little bit rough, just 3 wins, so they've already matched the win total from 1 year ago, coming in at 3-2. And we're going to have a few soccer games coming up here, so the bulk of our broadcast schedule coming up in the next couple of weeks. Good run here for Cape Fear. It's Tenorio. Played back to their keeper, the Fire Ants keeper, Faria. Faria's from Brazil, Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's played back now by Lunam for USC-Sumter. Bellamy also with the touch. Now Cape Fear trying to get something going on the attack here. In the 4th minute, just underway. Little flick forward by Fernandez, but the defense able to hold that time for the Fire Ants. Cape Fear so far in the very early going here, more of the possession. Be interesting to see what kind of legs the Fire Ants have here. I mentioned at the beginning they are in the middle of a long stretch. Eric Brewer with a nice block. Cape Fear trying to keep possession here. So far the Fire Ants with a lot of activity. So second game of 3 consecutive for Sumter. They also were late arriving, so they didn't get their normal warm-up routine in, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out here in the early going, and as the game goes on is when you'll really see those, 5 games in 7-day stretch that they're in really play out. They've got a fairly deep roster, although it doesn't look like everybody is here. Everybody made the trip. Didn't get a chance to talk to Joel Bristol, although we tried. So not sure, but we'll see. Cape Fear now trying to make something happen. It's the 1-2 punch up front. Deshaun Brown and Fernandez both going after that ball, and we'll talk more about them as the afternoon goes on. This is our first ever Sea Devils men's soccer broadcast, by the way, so thanks for being a part of it. Harding trying to play it forward, and it's deflected out of play. I believe Dockery made a play on it. So it'll be throw over on the far side for Sumter. The Fire Ants, known mainly for baseball and softball, but they've started to add some more fall sports down there in South Carolina. Turnover here, Fernandez with a lot of room to run at center circle. Plays it over to Brown, and the offside flag is up. So we're in the 6th minute. Chris Sheeman, glad to be with you. Don't forget, folks, you can chat with us on YouTube. We got the YouTube chat going. I already heard from April, who's watching, I believe, up there in beautiful Asheville, where I'm sure it's not as sticky humid as it is here. It's, last check, 83 degrees, and there is some cloud cover, which is good news. I could say that comfortably up here in the air conditioning, but it is definitely hot down on that field with or without the sun, and if the sun does eventually start to peek out, it's going to be brutal. A little bit of a breeze when we came in, although the flags are pretty still at the moment. Cape Fear. And they're going to get a hold. Foul called on the Fire Ants, so it'll be a free kick for the Sea Devils. Sea Devils are going back-to-back with Wake Tech. They're going to go to Wake Tech on Tuesday at 2:30, And then they're going to come back here to Legion Field on Saturday and play Wake Tech. We'll have that one for you at noon on Saturday. Again, if any Wake Tech or people are watching, that game is at noon on Saturday. Fernandez thinking about the cross. Good defense for the Fire Ants over on the near side from Griffin, one of the midfielders / left backs for Sumter. And just inside the 8th minute, long throw. And on one bounce, Faria will take it. We don't have a lot of stats on the Fire Ants either. Again, first-year program, and, it's a work in progress, you could tell. So we don't have a lot of stats. I've only got one stat for Erin Griffin, the keeper. So Faria is the usual starter, we assume, from Brazil. Griffin, the local product, the backup from right there in Sumter. Fire Ants will throw over on that far side. Bayard with the throw, looking for Harling. Martinez makes a play on it. This is Logan Edwards. Edwards, according to C.W. Ponton, the head coach, they're locked down center back. Great defender so far this season for the Sea Devils. Sea Devils have been pretty good defensively. They're coming off one of their, or the worst game defensively for them in that 6-1 loss, but they played Richard Bland very tough. Here's Brown looking to cross, and it comes right to the keeper. Good hands by Faria to squelch that attack. So Cape Fear making some noise here in the early going, 9th minute. You see the time left in the first half on your scoreboard. Folks, we've had some hit-or-miss internet here at Legion in the first couple of broadcasts dating back to last year that we've done. If the internet cuts out on us, we'll get it back as quick as we can. Bear with us. Eric Brewer with a little bit of a run. Trying to make something happen was Brown there. Aguirre will flick it in. Some physical play from that back four for Sumter. And eventually it's cleared. That's going to be headed, but out of bounds as it goes off Alex DeGrassi, the left back. DeGrassi's from Charlotte, and we talked during our last broadcast some of the great women's programs, high school, club, collegiate in North Carolina. Charlotte's got some good soccer on the men's side as well. That ball's in, and it's flicked too far to the right, though. Good effort from Fernandez, who tried to get him on the board. Fernandez, 2 goals, 3 assists, 7 points on the season. And CW says they're his most creative player, and you saw a little creativity there as he tried to flick it. Again, they're running, it was Fernandez and Brown very close together. Not a lot of space in between them. You don't usually see that from forwards too often, but that's the second time so far here in the early going. We're in the 11th minute now that we've seen them running very close to each other. Maybe a little deception between the two, who have great chemistry, according to C.W. Ponton. Long ball trying to chase it down is Fernandez on the far side. He's in a battle with Bayard, and it's going to be a throw for Cape Fear. No, it's going to be a throw for Sumter. That's what we thought. First of 2 today. It's a afternoon/evening doubleheader as women's soccer will be taking on Wake Tech. That'll be tonight at 6:30. We'll have that one for you on YouTube as well. Over on that far side, Markel Bellamy. 1 goal coming from playing on that back line here, at least starting out that way today. Trying to make a play on it was Tenorio, the defender, able to clear it down. It'll be a throw for the Sea Devils, and Logan Edwards will give way to Eric Brewer. Cape Fear had a thriller against Richard Bland. Was that last week, I think? About a little over a week ago. Losing that one 1-0. Richard Bland, tough in just about every sport that they play. I believe they're a JUCO, but they're private. Fernandez. Brewer now. Brewer fires it in. It's blocked. Another flick in. Whiffing on it was the defender Coker. And now from some distance, how about that effort? Alex Rodriguez almost got that to go. Nice save by Faria to make the play. Don't forget, folks, go seadevils.com. They've got live stats, so you can kind of follow what's going on stat-wise. I'll check in once in a while and keep you updated myself, but if you really want to follow shot for shot, you can do that. Go seadevils.com, and it's just right under the schedules for the men. Tenorio, good ball. Giving it a run is Brown. Brown towing that line, trying to keep it in play. The defender able to make a play, Bellamy, but here comes now Fernandez. Fernandez, oh, a little bit off for Rodriguez. You can see Cape Fear, though. It's going to happen eventually, and that'll be a foul on Alex. 13th minute, no score, but Sea Devils with more of the possession here in the early going, more of the chances. Fire Ants yet to get a shot off. 2 shots for the Sea Devils, 1 on goal so far. Cape Fear looking to get back in the win column, starting 3-0, losing the last 2. And as I mentioned earlier, matches their win total from all of last year. C.W. Ponton, who was an assistant at Andrew College, strong soccer program there, really did some great recruiting this past year, bringing in a lot of new players, including the keeper, who we'll talk about. Well, Rodriguez tried to make something happen. Still opportunities here. Aguirre tried to make something of it, but it's wide left. So Lucas Gusmeo is the keeper for Cape Fear. He played at UNC Pembroke, a Division II last year, and started 15 games, 2.91 goals against average at UNC Pembroke. He's also from the Charlotte area, so one of those diamonds in the rough sometimes. The situation doesn't work out for these kids to start, as that corner kick, well, there was something to be had of it, but it goes out of play, this time wide right, and this time it'll be a goal kick. So Ponton, no doubt, happy to have a player who got a lot of action at a Division II last year. UNC Pembroke's, I couldn't tell you how their soccer does, but they've got a fairly good athletic program going there. And they do well recruiting in all of their sports. It's not the most pleasant place to live in North Carolina. For those of you who are familiar, you probably understand what I mean, but it's a good school with really good athletics there, and Gusmeo, one of those diamonds in the rough, who decided to come here to Wilmington. Ball played in on the near side, Tenorio. Tenorio through the legs, and that'll be cleared out by Coker, the center back. 16th minute, just underway. Again, we got a late start today, folks, but we are glad you could be with us wherever you're watching from. Don't hesitate to use the YouTube chat. We always have to nudge people, but once they start talking to one another on there, you can't keep them quiet. Or if you want to interact with me directly on the broadcast, use hashtag SeaDevilTV. You can use that on Twitter. I also check it on Facebook and Instagram, but I usually only do that at halftime. So, 17th minute, and a goal kick from Faria here. Faria, 6'1", 180, made a great save earlier. The lone shot on goal for the Sea Devils. And we mentioned Gusmeo. He has yet to really be tested, as the ball has been on this side of the field for most of the afternoon. I know how to get people going on YouTube. Send me your thoughts. Is it a field or is it a pitch? Fire Ants now trying to make something happen. And that defense again, this time it's the midfielder Rodriguez who gets a good ball over to Tenorio. Tenorio, another good pass as Brown tries to go back heel. Can't make the play though as Bellamy was there. Bellamy plays it forward. Long run. Green trying to chase it down, and Guzmeo, top of the box, able to make a play on it. Good quick action from both of these teams when they've been on the attack. It's been patient and pretty crisp passing as you see it there on display. Trying to go 1-2. It was Fernandez looking for Brown, and that was deflected out off the Fire Ants. Alfredo Martinez being chased by Zelnick from behind and fires it to the left. Little breeze coming in now. The flag has picked up, blowing towards the right side of the field or pitch, depending on your preference. And certainly not the most humid day of the year, but it's pretty uncomfortable out there. Green. Here's Martinez. Logan Edwards. Eric Brewer now. Martinez. Tenorio. The ball through now to Fernandez. Fernandez chasing him down. How about Bellamy so far for Sumter? Markel Bellamy, just a freshman from Loris. 1 goal on 3 shots, 2 of those on goal so far this year, but playing excellent defense that time for the Fire Ants. Approaching minute 20, and we're scoreless here in the early going. Chris Sheeman, glad to be with you. Legion Stadium, the old home of the Hammerheads. Talked about it during the women's game, how Wilmington got robbed of their professional franchise. Talk more about that later. Right now, Zelnick, sliding play by Edwards. That's that lockdown defense that C.W. Ponton was talking about. Zelnick trying to sell maybe a call, but he understands that it'll be a throw without much complaint. Zelnick's been watching those Italians play. I just insulted my own team. I love them. Forza Italy, but they do flop. Oh boy, do they flop. So an opportunity off that foul for a set piece chance here for Sumter on the free kick, which will be taken by Ochoa, I believe is his last name. They have it Ochoa Alec. I mean, that could be, so I'll go with Alec. And he will take the free kick. Alec right into the 2-man wall. Stays with it, though. Alec tries to cross. And thought Harling might have had a shot on it. But it was just a little bit off the mark. He chases it down, and now a foul called. And this is more trouble, as it looks like this is going to be a free kick slash little chip cross over on that far side again. Alec will take it. Ochoa Alec from Mexico. Boy, if there's anybody watching down there, we're thinking about you guys after that earthquake. We don't know what city in Mexico, but Mexico City had a rough week. So Alec will try it again. This time it'll be more of a cross. Gets it in, headed out. Good defense again by the Sea Devils. Coker, good hustle to stay with it. Booming hit forward by Bellamy. And Cape Fear is going to win possession back. Fernandez played it back. Now the ball played forward to Tenorio, but top of the box, Faria is there to make the play. Cape Fear and USC-Sumter here today. Cape Fear going on the road Tuesday, returning home next Saturday. We'll be back up here Saturday at noon. It's a week against Wake Tech for the Sea Devils. Tenorio, good ball. Fernandez back heel. Tenorio running it down. He got pushed. They didn't call it. He got pushed right in the back from behind. Staying with it, Martinez on a hop, making the play is Faria, but that was debatable right there. Faria with the long kick, headed on that left side by Dockery. Cape Fear, one of the rare missed passes, but staying with it was Aguirre. Through is Brown. Brown puts it in the back of the net. And the Sea Devils here in minute 23 take a 1-0 lead. How about Deshaun Brown, the start for the freshman this year, his 5th goal leading the team in that category. The assist by Aguirre, that's his 1st of the year. So Deshaun Brown from Aguirre, and that passing, I told you, was going to pay off eventually for Cape Fear, who has been knocking on the door for most of the afternoon and finally able to put one into the back of the net on the 5th of the season now from Deshaun Brown. Brown's from just up the road in Jacksonville, and he is speedy. So they're going to take a break, get some water. We'll step aside here in the 23rd minute. We'll come right back. Well, that's our next broadcast. Of course, we'll also have women's soccer for you tonight at 6:30 as the women look to remain unbeaten, taking on Wake Tech. But we kick off our volleyball coverage on Tuesday at 6 p.m. I'll be up here at the gym for Sea Devils and Pitt. Chris Sheeman, glad to be back with you. I got my one buddy on the live chat, April Dockery. If you want to chat with us on Twitter, you can use the hashtag SeaDevilTV. Sea Devil, not Sea Devils. So 23rd minute, water break for both teams as Cape Fear gets on the board. Brown from Aguirre to make it 1-0. And as USC-Sumter respond, I mentioned it's a first-year program, and they're in a busy stretch, but they've had a good start to the season. 2-3 in your first year at any level you're playing at is nothing to scoff at. They played Spartanburg tough yesterday, losing that one 2-1. Wednesday they won 3-0 against Patrick Henry. They also opened with a 2-0 win over a D3 JUCO, that's Oxford of Emory, which is in Georgia. So, a couple of wins in Season 1 for USC-Sumter, and Joel Bristol mentioned C.W. Ponton coming from Andrew. Well, Joel Bristol came from Coker, where he was not only an assistant coach, but also a player there. Ball into the box. It's headed out by Bellamy. Coker's another good school. It's in the PD of South Carolina, around the Darlington-Hartsville area. Low ball on the right side, and diving for it off the shot from Eric Brewer. Making the play was Faria. Coker's another good Division II program. We talked about Pembroke in North Carolina. Coker's got some good athletics down there in South Carolina as well. Bellamy being chased. And over on that right side, Alec tried to head it in play. Nice job to keep possession alive for Sumter as Bellamy plays it forward. And we have another foul call. My name's Chris Shima. Glad to be with you. We got Ethan Carlson, who we'll see in action for the Sea Devils next year, I believe, right, Ethan? He's one of the keepers we've been talking about. We talked about Guzmea. There's also Almeida, who's played a game from just down the road in Calabash. So, C.W. Ponton starting to recruit, starting to build up after a difficult year last year. Took his lumps. Another foul called. Alex with the free kick. Cleared out by Dockery. Still danger for Cape Fear here. And now the Sea Devils will get it back. Tenorio, who gets the start today, a late addition to the starting lineup, has played very well. How about Brown? Look at the nifty footwork there. Brown, another shot. And Faria able to make the play there. But kind of like what you've seen from Deshaun Brown, one of several new players that I mentioned CW has brought in here in year number 2 for him. The interesting thing about a junior college coach is not only do you have to recruit consistently because you've got to fill in rosters, replace players every year. There's sophomores leaving. Of course, at the 4-year level, you've got, seniors leaving every year, but you've only got 2 years to work with these guys, so the turnover is much greater. You're also, and I hate to use the term agent, but you're hustling for these kids to try to get them scholarships and get them notoriety and get them to 4-year schools if they're looking to do that with themselves. So you've got this, you need to keep recruiting. You need to recruit your players as well. Tenorio trying to make something happen. Oh, just a little bit off from Renzo there. Well, we have somebody from Germany checking in. Vigates Jaquette Carter, who's watching from Germany. They say that was off Sumter, so I believe we're going to have our second corner kick of the afternoon here. Approaching minute 30. You see the time left here in this first half. Ball in. Oh, Faria took a shot. Nothing malicious, of course, just a hit on that. I'm betting that the folks in Germany are watching for Alex Rodriguez, who's from Vilseck, Germany. I used to, and I tell this story every time somebody watches from Germany, I used to know German. My girlfriend's here, so I got to be quiet about this story, but when I was a junior in college, I had to take German, and I mean the most beautiful teacher that I've ever seen in my life. I went to every one of her study sessions. I knew German fluent. The next semester it was some dude, and I forgot everything, and I think I got a D in the class. So I used to know German, but what a pig I am. Anyways, Bellamy with the play here in minute 29. I know Gates. I know. Hello, and there's some easy ones in Germany. German's not a hard language to learn, by the way. Interested in knowing how Alex Rodriguez was born in Germany. I'm betting there's some kind of an interesting story there. All of the players for Cape Fear, by the way, are local. I put that in quotation marks. Rodriguez is from Germany, but he grew up in the Carolinas. Same goes for Martinez, Alfredo Martinez from Honduras, and also Javier Davila from Puerto Rico. All of these players foreign-born, but they did grow up in this area. 30th minute now. You see less than 16 left to go here in the first half. 1-0 in favor of Cape Fear. In the 23rd minute, Deshaun Brown from Aguirre. Brown's 5th goal of the year. 5th goal on just his 9th or 10th shot on goal. So, roughly 50% there. You're getting a goal, roughly 1 out of every 2 times, maybe a little bit better than that. Deshaun fires a shot. Throw in for Kyle Griffith from Jacksonville, Florida. And he throws, and it's headed out by Tenorio. Well, the sun has started to come out. That's bad news for the guys out on the field, as that's what's really going to heat things up. The breeze has also kind of gone away a little bit. It is, there's some heavy clouds, but they are scattered a little bit. So, hopefully now's the bulk of the sun. The sun will remain during halftime, and then the clouds will move back over in the second half. That's best case scenario. Alec to free kick it here on the foul called. I also have a cousin who lives in Germany. She lives in Frankfurt. I'm not sure where Vilsek is in comparison to Frankfurt, but Alec, ball into the box. That's going to be headed. And Cape Fear, I believe that was out. So it'll be a throw, I believe. That's correct. I don't think we've seen any subs yet. Kyle Griffith will throw now for Sumter as soon as I say that. It's going to be, can you give me some numbers, Ethan? I just want to. So Tyler Nelson coming in. And it's Nate. They call him Nate. Okay, so Nate Lauren's also coming in for Cape Fear, and we did have a fire ant come in. We'll tell you about that sub as soon as I can spot him. There is no production truck. There's no 3 or 4 guys up here. It's me and it's Ethan, so we do the best we can. I believe it's Edward Acevedo who's come on. Is the offside flag up here? Yes, it is, as Tyler Nelson looks to make an immediate impact, but he was a little jumpy. Tyler Nelson from Fayetteville, he started his collegiate career at a D3 in the Asheville area. April and friends will know of Brevard College. Last year, Tyler had 5 goals, 1 assist there. He's got 3 goals and 1 assist here at Cape Fear through the first 5 games. Jacqueline says it's Vilsek Military Community. They're supporting the Sea Devils. So, and Alex, of course. Thanks. Good to have you guys. Here's Zelnick trying to make something happen from some distance. It's the first time Gusmeo has had to make a play, as the shot by Acevedo from Sumter. No trouble for Gusmeo there. Gusmeo's numbers so far this year, 4 games, 2.16 goals against average. He stopped 61% of the shots, allowed 9 goals, 1 clean sheet, 14 saves. Brown would not quit on that, and Faria had to send it to Carolina Beach just to get it out of danger. 34th minute, 1-0 in favor of Cape Fear. It was Brown scoring in the 23rd minute. Sea Devils will throw over on the far side. Headed by Brown. Nice heading effort. Faria makes the save. Chris Sheeman, glad to be with you. This is our first of, I believe, 3 Sea Devils men's broadcasts that we're going to bring you. We've had some shuffling and there's been some additions to the schedule, so glad to bring you some extra coverage and, send an email to Ryan Mantlo, the AD, who gave the go-ahead for me to get some more work and for you guys to get more soccer to watch. And tell him thanks, because we certainly I appreciate him having me, and if you guys appreciate what you're watching, maybe not necessarily what you're listening to, but what you're watching, then let Ryan know. Turnover, so Eric Brewer with the throw now for Cape Fear. Logan Edwards. The defense hasn't been tested too much, just that one touch by Gusmeo so far. Well, I decided to take a look at the Sea Devil TV hashtag, and April Dockery is evidently Principal Dockery. Kind of makes me regret that German language story that I told. Get a conduct referral from Principal Dockery, who's tweeted a couple of pictures. It looks like Ian's baby sister's watching, and she's all smiles. Again, use the hashtag Sea Devil TV on Twitter if you want to see her hilarious and very adorable grin. Thanks for watching. Cape Fear trying to tack on more. Dockery had a run there. Staying with it, Eric Brewer. Fernandez now. Fernandez trying to play it around the defense. He does beautifully. Sets it up and just not enough on it from Tyler Nelson there. Tyler Nelson almost had his 4th. That was a great ball by Fernandez. And Nelson just, I don't know how to describe it, but the footwork just wasn't there. The positioning wasn't right, and he kind of had to take an awkward hit on it. And A for effort, but it's still 1-0. 37th minute. You see the time left here in the first half. At halftime, we'll take a break. You can go away and check in on whatever NBC might has going on for soccer this afternoon, or college football, or whatever you want to do. We'll go away for the full halftime, and then we'll come back. So maybe leave it up on your phone or on your screens. Deshaun Brown turning on the speed. How about that hit from Bellany? Brown stays with it, and it's off the crossbar. Oh, I thought Bellamy had him stopped. What a play by Brown. Oh, he is fun. He is fun to watch. Deshaun Brown. Hi to Francis Rodriguez, who says hello from San Antonio. That's Alex's big sister in San Antonio, Francis Rodriguez. So Alex and she were born in America and raised in Germany. They're Army brats. That makes sense. I'll be in San Antonio. Little side note for you. I'll be in San Antonio broadcasting, speaking of the Army, the military, the United States military basketball tournament in San Antonio in November. So, Francis, if you're active duty or if you happen to be involved, please come say hi if you're going to be at that tournament. San Antonio, I'm looking forward to that. Can't wait to go to the Riverwalk there. Good to hear from you folks. Another foul on Cape Fear. Another booming kick by Bellamy. That's cleared out. Trying to make something happen with that was Acevedo, but good Cape Fear defense here in this first half. They have responded after giving up 6 goals. Played forward, Green coming up. Gusmeo makes the stop. So, Cape Fear gave up 6 goals in their last loss, and the Fire Ants don't look like much, but like I said, folks, this is a 2-win team. It's a first-year team, but they've played well here in the early going. Again, you wonder. They showed up late. Maybe the pep and the step is not there that you see with Cape Fear as Rodriguez is fouled, tried to take a quick free kick, and the referee says, this is America, and we do everything slow and wrong, so we're going to stop it. In normal soccer, those of you watching overseas know that's a perfectly fine free kick. Fernandez plays it in. Oh, wrong way that time. And I believe it was, again, Tyler Nelson on the effort there. Let's get the clocks changed. Let's get the free kicks changed. I believe another sub is on, and it's Wally Avila, the freshman for Cape Fear. Another sub, Dylan Branham, I believe, returning for USC-Sumter. Dan Jacobo also checking in for Cape Fear. Thank you, Ethan. So some late subs here as we get close to the half. Give guys a little extra 5-minute break. On the near side, Brewer. Here's Avila. Wally plays it forward, but nobody's home. And Faria will make the play. Over on the far side, Mark Amoris, I believe, is in at right back for USC-Sumter. Minute 41. Just about 4.5 left to go until halftime. Good start to this one for Cape Fear as they lead at 1-0. Had opportunities for more. Eric Brewer with a run, and he wins a throw. Fernandez. Avila. Lorenz. It's it back from Brown. Lorenz. Brown, little touch forward. Nelson, the flag is down. Tangled up. Staying with it and putting it over to the side. Was it Logan Edwards who hit that? Dan Jacobo coming in and making it 2-0 just like that. Sorry, Dan, we missed you. So Dan Jacobo getting his first of the year here in the 41st minute, and just like that, Cape Fear makes it 2-0. We also have a sub. Thanks again, Ethan. Josh Barnello coming on. Local product from here in Wilmington. Another freshman for Cape Fear. So Jacobo on the board. 2-0 Cape Fear. Sea Devils have come out like gangbusters. Jacobo winning a free kick now for his team. Great play there. Lorenz trying to split two defenders, and Sumter takes it away. USC-Sumter has had very little on the attack here this afternoon. Cape Fear right now out shooting them 13-1. Cape Fear, 8 of those 13 shots on goal. Cape Fear has had 8 fouls. That's the one blemish. Uh-oh. Opportunity now. The defense is fumbled, and Nelson, I think he got a little too tricky with it. The defender was caught off guard. I think he probably should have just tried for a quicker shot. But I'm up here and he's down there. Still, it'll be a throw for Cape Fear. .234 left and counting. If you're just joining us, Deshaun Brown, his first goal came at the 23rd minute, his 5th of the season. First here today. I say first because he's knocked on the door many other times as that effort goes well out of play. So 23rd minute, Brown for McGuire to make it 1-0, and then Jacobo just minutes ago making it 2-0. Goal kick for Faria. coming up. Again, we'll go away at halftime, so you can take a break with us. Leave the broadcast up. Come on back, and when you hear the sound of my voice, that's when the second half will be. Halftime usually 10 minutes, so probably about 10 minutes. These guys will relish it, no doubt. Play by Christian Vega. Looking for Jacobo on the near side. One back by the defense for the Fire Ants. Kyle Griffin is played forward now by Joe Lunam from Boca Raton, Florida. Joe Bristol recruiting in the Sunshine State. A couple of players from Florida on that roster, 4 or 5 for USC-Sumter. For Cape Fear, it's mainly local products. Local in quotations. Some players born overseas but raised here. And local, not necessarily just Wilmington or up and down the coast, but all of North and South Carolina. Did they run out of balls? Backup keeper for the Fire Ants is going to get the ball over on that far side. Meanwhile, we're going to get another sub for Cape Fear. Eric Brewer comes out, and Victor Mello coming on for 17 seconds. Oh, that's a push in the back, and that will likely wrap up the first half of play. So a good first half if you're a Sea Devils fan. 23rd minute. Brown scoring his 5th goal of the year from McGuire, who picked up the assist. And then just moments ago, Jacobo got on the board for the first time this season. And at halftime, it's Cape Fear 2, USC-Sumter 0. We'll take a 10-minute break and come back and bring you the second half here in just a few minutes. Welcome back to Legion Stadium. Cape Fear Sea Devils up on USC-Sumter Fire Ants 2-0 here at halftime. Gorgeous day here in Wilmington. Those of you who have a lot of freshmen on the team, maybe not from the area, haven't had a chance to come to Wilmington. It's a fun place. It's a nice stadium. I mentioned briefly how it used to be the home of the pro team here, the Wilmington Hammerheads, who used to regularly draw 5,000 to 6,000 people here at Legion Stadium, and for some reason that wasn't good enough. So they took that team away, which was we'll get on that ramp depending on how this second half goes, but shouldn't have happened in my opinion. But either way, if you have a chance to come to a game, talked about it during the women's game last week. You know, the campus itself is right downtown. Legion Stadium's probably about 4 miles or so away from downtown. But, you know, you start with soccer here at Legion Stadium. Come on down, check out a game, you know, support family, friends, whoever you might have who's playing out there. And then, you know, you have a great day in downtown Wilmington there on the river where they got tons of restaurants, and it's a great place to walk around. That's my spiel on Wilmington as both teams set to go. If you're just joining us for the second half, Chris Sheba, glad to be back with you. 13-1 the shots in favor of the Sea Devils, who are looking to snap a 2-game slide. 8 shots on goal to 1 for Cape Fear. Cape Fear, 8 fouls to 4 for Sumter. Couple of offsides, couple of corners for Cape Fear as well. The goals came in the 23rd minute. It was Deshaun Brown scoring for the 5th time this season from Aguirre, and then off the bench, Dan Jacobo, seconds after he checked in, scored his first of the season shortly before the half. That came at the 41st minute to make it 2-0, and that's where we're at as both teams come out of the locker rooms, and we're just about set to go here in the second half. Don't forget, you can chat with us on the YouTube chat. We've heard from a few people on there, folks in Germany, folks in Texas. Don Griffith, hi to you, who has said hello from Florida. He's watching, I assume, USC-Sumter, and Kyle Griffith there in Jacksonville. What a great town Jacksonville, Florida is as well. I had a chance to spend some time there broadcasting a volleyball tournament at the Mayport Naval Station in Jacksonville. And, man, we went down there at the beginning of June, and I was there for a week. I had to do 2 volleyball games a day, and the rest of the time I was loving that beach. It's a great, great town. So hi to Don, who's watching, who tweeted at me. You can also use the hashtag SeaDevilTV on Twitter, or you can chat with us on YouTube. It's easy. It's easier to communicate via the YouTube chat. However, you know, for some people, it's a little bit easier if you're watching on a mobile device to tweet. So, second half underway. Cape Fear leading it 2-0. I don't see a lot of changes for either team starting-wise. Well, there is one change as Dan Jacobo starts at forward here in this second half. So Jacobo is in. Also staying in is Nelson, as you see Nelson take the shot and a diving save by Faria. So C.W. Ponton continuing on with his bench for at least the first part of this first half. It's not a extremely busy week for Cape Fear, but they do have a couple of games, a game on Tuesday, and then are off until Saturday. That'll be our next men's broadcast, by the way, Cape Fear and Wake Tech Saturday at noon. Jacobo, Brown, played in by Alex DeGrassi, and heading effort That was over everybody's head, so it go out of play for a goal kick. Thank you to Ken, who's enjoying the broadcast. So there are some fire ants out there. Yeah, it's a Cape Fear broadcast, but we're happy to have you folks on there as well. Wish we could have got a little more information from USC-Sumter, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Nathaniel Lawrence also starting. So basically everybody who was out there at the end of the first half starts the second half as Logan Edwards plays it back. Goose Mayo, got to make sure he's still awake back there. He's only had to touch the ball one time so far today. Jacobo, and he turns it over. Nice run by Seth Green for the Fire Ants. Seth Green trying to stay with it, but the defense for Cape Fear holds there. Cape Fear in the first half passing the ball very well, very crisp passing. And one of the reasons why a couple of goals were as easy as they were was because of that crisp on-target passing for the Sea Devils here this afternoon. Minute 48. Quick ball over on the far side. Can Brown keep it in play? No, as Nelson raises his hand. No need to apologize, as the effort was there, but just a little too much on it from Nelson. Brown is not going to run out of steam, so USC-Sumter would be well advised to not play around with it in the box because Brown's coming at it. Looks like we have a foul called, and Scotty Rodriguez gets the start in the second half for USC-Sumter. I had Sumter in a 3-5-2 at the beginning, but I believe it's a 4-4-2 or a 4-5-1 on the free kick. Martinez trying to take it himself, and it came right to the keeper. So Scotty Rodriguez in for Sumter to start off this second half. Let you know about any other change. They've also moved Bellamy up into the forward spot. Here's an opportunity off the deflection. Oh, no. Tyler Nelson shooting himself in the foot a couple of times. I mean, that one was point blank. All he had to do was go left a little bit with it. But it remains 2-0 here in the 50th minute. Nelson had an opportunity in the first half as well, although it wasn't as easy as a look as that one just was off the deflection. Cape Fear still trying to pour it on here. Over on that near side, Jacobo plays it into Brown, but it rolls to the keeper, Leo Faria. Started talking about the 1-2 punch, Tyler Nelson, Deshaun Brown, and what great teammates they've been, what great communicators they've been. Nelson with Brown, or I believe they're actually roommates at Cape Fear. And C.W. Ponton says he put them together, not necessarily thinking that they would bond the way they would, but he's been very pleased with the way that they've been able to gel together, and, you know, the 1-2 scoring punch there, the two forwards. Franco Fernandez, one of the midfielders and the most creative player on the team, according to C.W. Ponton, also on that front line here this afternoon. So it's been those three. And, of course, the goal from Jacobo, his first of the year. Another throw, Markham Morris from Miami, Florida, throws it in for the Fire Ants. Fire Ants trying to make something happen on this side of the field, and upset with himself is Scotty Rodriguez, as he put too much on it. Goal kick to come here in minute 52. Cape Fear looking to go to 4-2, currently tied, matching last year's win total of 3. So if they can win here on, what day is it, September 23rd, they would go past last year's win total. With Nelson, they say good defense again from Bellamy. Another turnover. Here's Alfredo Martinez, and he gets tripped up. So a free kick from about 20, 25 yards or so. Well, they're actually going to back it up, so it'll be closer to 25, 30 yards out. Apologies for those of you watching overseas using yards and feet and things like that. We're Americans, we don't know any better. It'll be Deshaun Brown. It's actually a three-headed monster there, so Dockery, Brown, and Lorenz. And one of them will take this free kick. We'll see if Nate does or Brown. Four-man wall for the Fire Ants. Brown will take it and hits the top of the crossbar for the second time here today. So, if not for inches, Brown might have a hat trick. But that's the game. Another foul is called on Sumter. Played in Lorenz over on the far side. The defense able to win it back. Ochoa Alec on that far side. Acevedo with a good run. He's got a teammate. Couldn't get it to him, though. Great sliding play for Cape Fear as the ball's played back to Guzmeo. And it looks like an injured Fire Ant. Trying to see the jersey number for Cape Fear, the guy who made that great defensive play, and he won't turn around. Who's on the left side there? Oh, that was Degrassi. So Degrassi with the great defensive play, as it was 1 against 2 there for the Fire Ants. Had 2 players on that attack, but Degrassi able to make the stop. So the sportsman-like free kick there as play was stopped. Guzmeo has a clean sheet already this season. He had 1 last year at UNC Pembroke as well. Looking to remain spotless here this afternoon. Fire Ants have started to knock on the door a little bit more, though. It looks like they might have a goal in them. Well, if you're a USC-Sumter fan and you happen to know who's wearing 28, he's on the near side of your screen with kind of a weird-looking headband on. Feel free to let me know, because I don't have a 28 on my roster. Again, use that YouTube chat if you happen to know. It could be Richard Martinez, who's one of the midfielders who normally wears 18. But I couldn't tell you for sure. Foul on Cape Fear. Cape Fear's best game of the season, in my opinion, and I've only seen them a few times, so I'm a little bit biased in what I've seen, but they played Richard Bland tough in that 1-0 loss. They lost on a penalty kick, by the way. Alfredo Martinez trying to play it forward, but that was a real turning point, in my opinion, for this team. They laid an egg against Lewisburg, losing 6-1. Lewisburg's a good program, though. But C.W. Ponton has done a nice job here in year 2. Not quitting on it was Nelson, but he runs out of room. And again, Cape Fear here in the 56th minute looking good on their way to win number 4 to go to 4-2. This is a Region 10 opponent, but I've been told, and it makes sense, it's the first year for men's soccer at Sumter, so although they're Region 10, they're not technically a member in soccer yet. Everybody goes through, that grace period, that 1 year holding period. So this is not a region game, but next year that will be different. Throw in now for Blake Byard, local product from Sumter. Scotty Rodriguez playing it back. And Reagan Zelnick runs right into the wall. Quick free kick by Lorenz. Taken back by Byard. Trying to run it down is Brown. Taking on a couple of different defenders. And, man, this kid, he is full of energy. I mean, get him a Wheaties contract. Because he is motoring. He definitely had his Wheaties for breakfast. Deshaun Brown, there's no quit in him. He's fast, as CW mentioned, but a little ticky-tack foul. Eric Brewer called for that foul. Chris Shima, glad to be with you here in Wilmington. And an opportunity now for Sumter to get right back in it here via the set piece. They've had a couple of these in the first half that fizzled out. It's a 3-man wall for the Sea Devils. And I believe it's Rodriguez who will take the free kick. Apologies to Sumter fans if I'm wrong. Little pooch comes right to Gusmeo, who makes his second play on the ball all afternoon. '59th minute. Another opportunity missed for Sumter. Brown with the header. Jacobo with the run. Coming out of the box, Leo Faria, who makes a play on it. Faria's short kick. Lorenz went for the header, but eventually taken back by Logan Edwards. Cape Fear, this is Tenorio, who's played well. That'll be sent behind by Sumter, so we will have our third corner kick of the afternoon, all of them belonging to Cape Fear. Nate Lawrence was coming out to take it, but I think he's going to be sub for. And it'll be Anthony Aguirre who will run out there and take the corner. Sixtieth minute, Aguirre boots it forward. Punched out, I believe, Faria. Sent back in. Cape Fear, that was Logan Edwards, and foul called on the Sea Devils. Folks, don't forget, if you're looking for stats for today's game, just go to GoSeaDevils.com. Kind of enhance the broadcast a little bit. You can follow along with the live stats on the schedule pages where you go, and scroll down to today's game and click on live stats. Again, GoSeaDevils.com. Just to give you a quick recap, 17-2 the shots in favor of Cape Fear. Cape Fear with 9 of those 17 shots on goal. Goals in the first half for Cape Fear came in the 23rd minute. That was Deshaun Brown, assisted by Anthony Aguirre. And then in the 41st minute, Dan Jacobo with his first of the year. So that's how we are at 2-0 right now here in minute 61. Eric Brewer. Jacobo with the header. One back by Sumter. Seth Green plays it back. Reagan Zelnick. Green again. Green fires it in and is blocked by Logan Edwards. Here comes Tenorio. Near side, Alfredo Martinez. Jacobo Martinez on the 1-2. And that'll go off. Blake Byard out of play. Throw in to come for Cape Fear here. Alex DeGrassi. Here's Aguirre. Aguirre, nice move, fires it. That's going to go wide to the right. Out of play. So less than a half hour remaining. Don't forget, I mentioned the website before. There's the website you can go to, not only for live stats of this game, but all the upcoming broadcasts. Anywhere you see a video link, that'll be a live broadcast. The game's here, not in HD. Trouble clearing, and now it's a turnover. Fernandez had an opportunity, but Sumter escapes that. I mentioned it earlier on in the second half. Sumter kind of gets careless back there, kind of lackadaisical, and this Sea Devils attack is not dropping back by any stretch here at 2-0. Martinez, Aguirre. Aguirre plays it looking for Fernandez, but too far forward. USC-Sumter back in action tomorrow. I believe they're at home against Daytona State. That will be at noon tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, they're at USC-Lancaster. And that will conclude a 5-game in 7-day stretch. That is a lot to ask of your team. Tomorrow's game will conclude a back-to-back-to-back, as they've played all weekend. They played yesterday against Spartanburg in Sumter and lost 2-1. And again tomorrow, they go home again. Cape Fear will play on Tuesday at Wake Tech, and then they come home to take on Wake Tech here at Legion. That'll be Saturday at noon. We'll have that one for you once again. Jacobo breaking through. Jacobo looking for his second. It's blocked, but firing it off the deflection is Rodriguez. Alex Rodriguez, who passed it to Jacobo originally, able to clean up on the block. And here in minute 64, Rodriguez cashes in for the first time this season, making all the fans in Germany no doubt cheer. And it's 3-0. They're going to change goalies, will USC-Sumter. And that likely means Erin Griffin coming in. We have one game of stats on him, so a 6.00 goals against average, 75% save percentage, 18 saves. Alex Rodriguez, for the first time all year. And this one now comfortable for the Sea Devils. So, Erin Griffin in. He's a local product for Sumter. And as I mentioned, very little stat-wise for USC-Sumter, but Griffin has played in at least one other game. '65th minute now, and we are waiting for a free kick here for Cape Fear. Cape Fear on a 2-game slide, coming out here against the first-year program and taking care of business. And we talked about the job that C.W. Ponton has done here trying to build this program back up. The year before he came here, Cape Fear did win 6. They went 6-9-3 in 2015. So, competitive, but not really in the 500 mark. Here's some jawing. Bellamy and Martinez. And the future official right there. I don't know who 28 is for USC-Sumter because he's not on our roster, but he's going to be an official one day. I can tell you that. He broke that up immediately. Good sportsmanship from him. Here's Nelson trying to capitalize. Pass was blocked, cleared out by Sumter, and it'll be a Sea Devils throw on the far side. Aguirre. That's cleared again. Coming forward, Ian Dockery. It's Joel Daniels. That's the future official. Thank you, Kristen. So Joel Daniels, number 28 for the Fire Ants. Foul called on USC-Sumter. Aguirre will take the free kick. Short to the far side. Ball in. Again, Vega. Oh, opposite side. So Christian Vega, who comes on, came up short. Vega, one of those freshmen from Newton Grove, North Carolina. And that's just right up the road from Wilmington, I believe. It looks like Wally Avila, I believe, also coming back in. Alfredo Martinez will sit down. So Avila is back out there. Some more conversation as at 3-0 things start to get chippy as they do in the second half. It'll be a free kick for Cape Fear at center circle. DeGrassi playing it in. It's headed out. Fernandez. Nice pass, but Aguirre had trouble with it, and bodies are tangled up. I believe it's going to be a free kick for Cape Fear in chip shot land. '59th minute. Cape Fear in control. They're going to have an opportunity now to tack on one more. This is a Pirlo automatic is what I like to call it. Pirlo would take them from here. I'd say probably 40 to 50% of the time it would go into the back of the net. Aguirre's going to try it for the Sea Devils. Let's see if he has some of Pirlo's magic here. 4-man wall for the Fire Ants. Nope, it's a fake. Fernandez, too much on it. And that'll go out of play. Is Pirlo still playing? Didn't he come to the United States and play in the MLS for a while? Or was that somebody else? I don't know. I'm thinking out loud here in minute 70 as we get late inside this one. It looks like they're going to take a timeout, let these guys get hydrated. So we will go away for a couple of minutes. Cape Fear in control, leading 3-0. We'll be back. Well, this is Water Break comes to an end. A little shameless self-promotion for myself there. If you need a website, SEO services, sports broadcasting, whatever you need. You want me to come and do play-by-play of your life? If you got a check that will clear, I will do that. There's the website you could check out. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you. It's 3-0 in favor of Cape Fear. The Sea Devils in control here in the 70th minute. Glad to be with you for our first men's soccer broadcast. We're going to do 2 more, I believe. Next Saturday for sure against Wake Tech, and then I believe the following Monday. And the opponent escapes me, but we will have that one for you. So a busy stretch here in the next 10 days with soccer, and that'll be it after that. But thanks to Ryan Matlow, the athletic director, also CW, Ryan Deppa, the soccer coaches, for having me. It's been a lot of fun. I worked for a Division I school last year and did soccer for them and didn't have half the fun that I'm having working with Cape Fear. So it's not always about stature, folks, for the players or for us. Sometimes it's about what's the right fit and what's not. Opportunity now off a throw-in, which will be taken by Blake Byard. Another local product. I mentioned Fire Ants have recruited out of state with some Florida players, some players from overseas, but they've got a lot of players from right there in Sumter. Joel Daniels coming back in. Byard will throw it. And nobody's really home. Low ball and the shot, nicely taken, Gavin Pottemery. I apologize if I got that wrong, Gavin, but he's come on and took that shot. And the third save, I believe, for Goose Mayo here this afternoon. Cape Fear in control. They've been in control throughout. There hasn't been much on the attack for the Fire Ants here today. There's been a lot of attack for Cape Fear, like this one from Fernandez, who puts it through. Franco Fernandez, for the 3rd time this season, here in the 72nd minute, makes it 4-0. Nelson's going to get the assist for Tyler. That's his 2nd of the season. And Cape Fear putting a little extra sprinkles on the Sunday in what will be their 4th victory of the season. It looks like, unfortunately, on that play, Blake Byard is shaken up. So, hate to see that for Sumter. And he will be replaced. Looks like Seth Green coming back in for the Fire Ants. So, in the first ever meeting between these two schools, Cape Fear on their way to win number 4, leading at 4-0. Pottemery. Cape Fear winning it back. Sea Devils, Logan Edwards playing it forward. Pass by DeGrassi. Here's Wally Avila with a little spin. And that pass just getting through the legs of Lunam. So Cape Fear has gone to, let's pass it around and kill some time here, as they have dropped back. Not a bad idea. Sea Devils with not a hectic week, but they do have to play again in a couple of days, and getting some guys some rest and an easy victory always helps with that. Cape Fear has had a couple of tough games, so for the Spirit, certainly, it's always nice when you can come off a tough loss, couple of tough losses. One was worse than the other, but able to rebound, get an easy win, you start to feel good. You got the rest of your weekend to be happy and celebrate, and then Tuesday it's back to work against Wake Tech on the road. Those of you That was a nice looking effort there. DeGrassi kind of made me pause. It hung up in the air, and I couldn't tell, was it going to be too high, and it really curved down at the post. And the keeper, Erin Griffin, had to make a play on it. So corner kick for Cape Fear, taken on the far side by Alex Rodriguez, I believe. We haven't seen Brown in some time. Josh Barnello from Wilmington is on for the first time. He wears number 4. The corner kick handled by Griffin, the keeper. On the near side, Grant Wilbur, another local product from Sumter. Here's Tyler Nelson, and I believe we have a foul called on the Fire Ants. You know, I don't have a dog in this fight, but be nice to see Tyler Nelson get one. The poor kid's had a couple opportunities, just kind of missed, and he's knocked on the door more than a few times here today. Barnello plays it to Avila, and the defender, Luke Wilson, over on that left side for Sumter, clears it. Sea Devils 2 in the first half, 2 in the second half. They lead at 4-0. 75th minute, you see the time left in the ballgame. Daniels trying to get it out of there in a battle with Barnello, and some frustration there as he's called for the foul. Again, Daniels called for the foul. So another opportunity here from Pirlo range. By the way, we looked it up during the water break. Pirlo's playing for New York in the MLS. At how old is he now? He's got to be pushing 40. 38. Oh, Aguirre's going to take the free kick. Aguirre chips it, but too high, so it'll go for a goal kick. Pirlo, I mean, I'll never forget 2006. Never in my life. That was an incredible run by the Italians in that World Cup. Another sub as Fire Ants Grant Wilbur walks under his own power. It's a lot of cramping is what it looks like, and you know, you can understand why. It's hot out there. Sumter did not get warm-up time because they were late arriving. Tyler Nelson. Again, the fouls starting to pile up here. That's sometimes what happens in these kind of games. Just sloppy, frustrated play starts to kick in. Ian Dockery, Barnello. There's Vega. And the defense, Ochoa Alec holds for Sumter there. And it looks like Victor Mello is going to come back in for Eric Brewer. So Victor Mello back out there. I mentioned we have 2 more broadcasts, and I forgot the Monday, October 2nd game will be against USC-Salkehatchie, as that low shot taken by Barnello. So we'll have the Wake Tech game on Saturday at 12, and then the game against USC-Salkehatchie Monday, October 2nd at 5:30. And again, those will be here on YouTube, so subscribe to the Cape Fear YouTube page, and that will make it easier. You can actually add it to your calendar, and you can get text message reminders when the game's about to start if you want to watch. YouTube does a lot of cool things. I really enjoy working with them. There's a lot of people that, you know, there's always something new out there, and that's always what everybody wants to gravitate towards. And right now, some colleges and even major leagues are trying Facebook Live. Facebook Live is not great. You know, you can watch this on your Roku. You can watch it on your laptop. You can hook it up HDMI on your phone, on your tablet. Facebook is a little more limited viewing options for you, but we're happy to do them. I would like to have given it to you in HD, folks, but the internet here is always a question mark. Tyler Nelson is held again. So we'll have another free kick here for Cape Fear. 79th minute. 4-0 in favor of the Sea Devils, Cape Fear. 2 goals in the first half. Deshaun Brown, Dan Jacobo. Trying to curve it that time was Aguirre. Couldn't make a play, though. In the second half, in the 64th minute, Alex Rodriguez with his first of the season. Franco Fernandez from Tyler Nelson in the 72nd minute. And that made it 4-0. That's where we are right now. Joe Lunam for Sumter. That was Gavin Pottemery. Lunam again trying to make something happen, but Avila able to get it forward on that far side. Here's Barnello firing it right at the keeper, though, Griffin, who makes the play. So Cape Fear will go on the road on Tuesday, 2 more home games. Then they're on the road for 3, back at home for 3 to close out October and the regular season. And then the Region 10 tournament starts. Mello on the far side. Looking for Nelson. Nelson will cross. Vega. Vega on the hop. Yes! Into the back of the net as Cape Fear pours it on here in minute 81. Christian Vega with his first of the year. And Tyler Nelson, his second assist here this afternoon, his third this season. 5-0. Are they bringing in Deshaun Brown again? So Brown's coming back in. That's interesting with the score the way it is. So Brown back out there. Inside 10 minutes to play. Cape Fear. This is their highest scoring performance of the season, and given the way last year went, I'd be surprised if it wasn't the highest in a long time. They won 3-0, 1-0 a couple of times last year. This 5-goal performance is the best. Well, even in 2015, they didn't have 5 goals. We got to go back even further than that. So let's see how far this thing's going to go. Well, it looks like the last time Cape Fear scored 5 goals or more was October 26, 2014 in a 6-0 win against UNC Lancaster. And that was the, I believe, also the last time Cape Fear finished 500 or better, as they went 9-9-2 that season. So the best offensive performance since 2014. Brown, the corner, and the header was blocked by the defense, and off the deflection, put in for goal number 6. Scoring that one, Ian Dockery, I believe. Well, we'll see who they credit it to. Ethan says Tyler Nelson, but we'll wait for the official word. It is Tyler Nelson, who knocked on the door so often and came up short here this afternoon, finally connects. And it's his 4th goal of the season here in the 82nd minute. Oh boy. Well, if you're USC-Sumter now, it's warm up the bus time. Let's stop the bleeding. Let's run this out and let's go home. You can see the energy has just been sucked out of the Fire Ants right now. 6-0. So that matches that 2014 6-0 victory for Cape Fear. That was the second, I believe, highest scoring game of 2014. Cape Fear also had an 8-0 victory on the road to start the season in 2014 at Northern Virginia. So 8, at least in the last 3 years, is the high mark. And if they're going to score 1 a minute here in the last 10 minutes, we'll get past that before it's time to shut it down. So another foul called on Sumter. And this is one of those games for USC-Sumter that you learn from. The difference really is Cape Fear today looked like a team. The passing, all the nonverbal communication that needs to go on out there, the eye contact. I mean, Cape Fear's had all of it. They almost had another goal there off the free kick by DeGrassi. So the Sea Devils, one of their better performances, their best performance under C.W. Ponton here in the 84th minute. Guzmeo will pick it up. That is goalie 101 right there. Kill the clock as much as possible. Guzmeo on his way to his second clean sheet. That's really all that's left to be decided for Cape Fear, although USC-Sumter doesn't look like they have a whole lot of fight left in them. They've only managed 2 shots in the ball game. Outshot 27-2, 16 shots on goal for the Sea Devils here this afternoon. I mean, this is everything you want to see from your football team. How about Logan Edwards? We haven't had a chance to talk too much about the defense and the keepers today. Alfredo Martinez has his shot blocked, but '85th minute, and that defense has played very well in the limited opportunities the Fire Ants have had. There was very little guesswork. On the near side, Alex DeGrassi. Avila. Don't forget, folks, 6:30. If you want to see a show, Cape Fear's women's soccer at 6:30. They are something to watch, folks. Martinez at the half circle. Here's Lunam with a long run for Sumter. Got to preserve that clean sheet. They call it a shutout, but I like clean sheet in soccer. Far side, that ball for Barnello. Barnello into the box, and it's deflected behind. Actually lands on top of the netting, so another corner for the Sea Devils. Well, the fouls were heavily in favor of Cape Fear until this second half. It's 15-11 now as things have started to get a little more chippy and a blowout. Don't forget, USC-Sumter fans, if you're in the Sumter-Columbia area, go see them tomorrow at noon. I believe they're at home against Daytona State. You can check their own schedule. They're on the road on Tuesday at USC Lancaster. Another corner here. Brown skies it off the header, and it was headed by Daniels, and he's fouled. So, free kick to come for the Sea Devils. Apologies for the Fire Ants. And I did mention this is the middle, towards the middle / tail end of this 5-game and 7-day stretch for USC-Sumter. And I mean, they look like a team that's been playing all weekend. What was that from Brown? I mean, are you kidding me? Low shot Barnello, and that'll be wide left. We got to get, I know how practices sometimes go, and I would love to see what Deshaun Brown does in practice. There's got to be a viral video in there somewhere. Trickeration, he's got the athletic ability, he's got a lot of speed. He's leading the team right now with 5 goals. And he's just a freshman. Not sure what his plans are, but he should get some looks if he wants to go somewhere else after this. Jacobo has played hard today. It's knocked out by Kyle Griffith. Martinez. And what do we got here? Oh, there's a player down at center circle for the Fire Ants. So that's why we had the stoppage here with 2:05 left to go. So while they have an injury on the field, we'll go away for just a minute, come back and wrap this one up. Well, the injured player was Ochoa Alec, and he appears walking off on his own, which is good news for Sumter fans. Chris Sheeman, glad to be back with you here in Wilmington. Legion Stadium. Somebody get this town a pro team back. They have a PDL team, a semi-pro team, which is what the Hammerheads eventually became, but this is a great soccer town, and they deserve a pro team, which is, from what I've been hearing, the rumors and everything is soccer in this country is about to change, and they're really looking at expanding the USL. So that will be interesting to see if there's a new pro team back here at Legion Stadium sometime in the near future. There should be. There shouldn't. They should have never left. The team was supposed to go to Baltimore, which never happened. So PDL teams are fun to watch too, but it's not quite the same. And you know, there was something lost here in Wilmington, and it stinks, especially when it's unnecessary. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I know all about teams being taken away from us. The Cleveland Browns moved to Baltimore, and I don't know what that thing up there in Cleveland is now, but it's certainly not the Browns. It's something else. Might as well be an arena team. So we're approaching the 90th minute. Less than a minute now to go in this one. USC-Sumter will drop to 2-4. Again, tomorrow they take on Daytona State at home at noon. Tuesday at USC-Lancaster at 1 p.m. Meanwhile, Cape Fear on their way to a 4-2 mark. Most wins in the last couple of seasons. Nice hustle there by Mello to avoid that going. That might have been a corner. Tenorio is back out there. Long run by Fernandez. And a sliding play by Zelnick. Thanks to the folks in Texas and Germany and Florida, wherever else you've been watching from. Guys, we appreciate it. We're going to sign off here pretty quickly after this one's over. Don't forget, go to GoSeaDevils.com and find the recap and all the stats from this one as the clock hits 0 and Cape Fear snaps a 2-game slide, winning convincingly 6-0. So again, thanks for watching, everybody. My thanks to Ethan Carlson for doing the camera. Ethan, go ahead and wave. Just put your hand in front of the camera there. There's Ethan. Thank you to him for bringing you the pictures, and thanks to you for watching. Don't forget, we're back on at 6:30 tonight. Women's soccer against Wake Tech coming up at, again, 6:30. Until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody, and we'll talk to you again in a few hours.